and gentlemen, welcome back to Day 2 of the BLCS Grand Circuit Spring Open presented by HTK Esports. We're back with the second quarterfinal as I'm joined by Survivor Marco Polo taking on Clovarity.
Definitely should be another good series, just like our last one. Now, I don't know these teams as well, but I know the players on the field, and they have some quality about them. Look at Hegsy, for example, someone that has a lot in the locker, and those should be very interesting to see what they can do here.
Clovarity had a big day yesterday in the group of death of Group C, and Bronzy nearly turns in one. They're an aspect in the challenge. It's taken wide by Swazin with 30 seconds gone, and again, Clovarity not scored on just yet, but EV Marco Polo surely the favorites here, but again, coming out of the group death, Clovarity can really do anything. They put their minds to it. A big shot there. Bronzy turns in the opener.
That should be illegal because he just killed a man. That was a great shot off the wall. Such a tough angle. And he manages to make it look effortless. Evie Marco Polo already have a goal to their name.
4:18 to go on the clock here. Sparta looking for an attempt there for Clovarity in the response. But again, another one taken by the wayside here. But now Clovarity still trying to find that offensive footing, sir. But a minute now gone. EV Marco Polo standing top 1-0 up.
Definitely, and as you said, they're probably the favorites going into this one, but I would not count Clovarity out. As we just learned from the last series, don't count any team out. And 1 minute already gone, and it is the blue team that is currently dominating the possession, but again, 1 minute in the best of 7 means very little in the grand scheme of things.
Draco Esports awaiting the winner of this series. Just now joining us. Draco took down Goon Squad in 6, but Sparta throws in 1 for Clovarity. We're back to a tied score, 3.5 to go.
That's just an unfortunate clearance. Hexy hits it just off the lip of the wall, and it goes back center, and Clovarity always going to finish that one off. And it's a great play. And both teams equal here already. It looks like this series is going to be a close one, Nation.
3.5 to go, and again, maybe we see a close series like we just saw with Draco and Goonscon, maybe a Game 6, Game 7, but Clovarity on the back end defense. Bronzy turns in a second. Marco Polo back on top.
Bronzy is pulling out all of the stops. What a double tap. That angle is unheard of. With the wheels of your car nonetheless. That is an expert shot. He knew exactly where that was going. And that is a beautiful goal to get Marco Polo back in the lead.
3:18 to go. Now a chance incoming for Clovarity, and Hexy will bail this one wide. Swaz off the ceiling, off to Sparta for the shot, but it's taken away towards the corner, and Marco Polo, with 2 minutes gone, are up by 1.
Definitely a good start to the series for Marco Polo. Another shot just goes off the crossbar. As Clovarity look to move downfield here. Gonna need to find some pressure as Marco Polo have been in control of the first half of this game. But again, game 1, usually the game where both teams are filling each other out, so plenty of time to see a change.
2:40 on the clock now to play, and Swaz to the left wall there has help from Kaimo around the corner, and Clovarity, a chance in coming off the post, the rebound. Bronzy bells it out towards the corner, and we approach halftime. Clovarity down 1, but EV Marco Polo doing an outstanding job here in the opening half.
Clovarity, one thing I'm seeing is that their third man is sticking pretty far back to try and collect some of the bangs and plays that, you know, are going to be coming out of EV Marco Polo, but if you're trying to keep pressure, may not be the best strategy, but hey, who needs pressure when you have counterattack passing plays like that across the field, all 3 players involved? What a shot!
And Swaz turns in, gained the second goal here in game 1 for Clovarity. 2:08 to go, and Clovarity equal things up here in the second quarterfinal.
Definitely a good game 1 to start out with if you're a neutral fan. What a play off the post! You almost wish that one would go in if you're a neutral fan here today, as that was quite a great play. Hexy now, out of the corner. Rolls off the lip of the wall, but just can't find a Marco Polo player. Now, who's going to step up here and find that go-ahead goal that could be ever so important going into this game 1? You definitely want to set the tone of the series in your favor, and both of these teams have looked pretty good so far in this game. Maybe a couple of errors, but we'll see if those start to diminish as the series goes on. But for now, less than 90 seconds to go, and Clovarity are getting the team plays rocking.
1:20 on the clock now to play. And EV Marco Polo back to an equal score. Clovarity having a really good second half here in game one, but now Marco Polo back on defense. Here comes Clovarity downfield, pass inside to Kaimo. The shot cut off just in time as Aspect bails out the defense of Marco Polo.
Definitely a very close call, but Aspect manages to dispatch the shot quickly. And Clovarity going to be kicking themselves. They let that one go without an attempt on net. But even Marco Polo are under all the pressure right now, and Clovarity find the lead, Nation.
And Swaz turns in a third for Clovarity here. I believe he's got two in game one, but 42 seconds left. Clovarity on top here in game one.
Clovarity indeed on top in this first game, and they're looking quite good, but on that other end, even Marco Polo have got three players that can pull a lot out of the bag of tricks, and they're going to need to do that if they want to get back into this game here. Hexy, a good pop to the center, good save, but plenty of work still to do as Bronzy is up looking for his hat trick. Can't quite find the attempt. Hexy, center, Kaimo, good clear, but 20 seconds remain, and both of these teams are looking quite good, but it has been Clovarity with just that little bit of an edge, especially on their counterattacks.
7 seconds to go on the clock here. Aspect pass inside. Marco Polo looking for one goal late. Swaz a big clear. It's going to be into an open field. Clovarity take game one by storm after a late surge. 3-2 the final score.
Definitely was a good game for them, and they're going to want to keep that momentum going, but Marco Polo going to have to readjust the strategy a little bit here. 9 shots on net, Nation, had more than Clovarity did, but a lot of them didn't really seem too convincing.
Right, I mean, you have a really big chance there. Marco Polo started out strong, but Clovarity just matched the pressure in the second half and came away victorious. And Swaz again turns in two, and believe not Sparta, but Kaimo turned in one as well to give Clovarity the edge there. But game two now underway. Marco Polo looking to bounce back.
Definitely Marco Polo need to find this game here. You don't want to go 0-2 down in a series of as much pressure as this, but Swaz is going to find the first goal right off the jump. And the kickoff goal, never a good way to start off the series, Nation.
Ryan Swaz again having an MVP performance already. I mean, he's 3 goals in the day now, and 2 seconds off the clock. A kickoff goal goes to late Clovarity, and Marco Polo now find themselves down 1.
Definitely needs to find something here, as both of these teams, they look pretty evenly matched, but it has been Clovarity that had the upper hand so far. But again, game one's just an adjustment game. We'll see what game two can bring. That's a good shot by Hexy. Sparta put under a lot of pressure and responds to it well. Kaimo, a good turn. And both of these teams are, striving for that next goal, and they're doing a good job of reading things before they can really turn into dangerous opportunities. But something has to give, and there it is. Aspect will find the equalizer for Marco Polo.
Bronzy gets a touch there late as well, and unfortunately doesn't get an assist, but Aspect puts Marco Polo on the board here in game two, and it's back to a tied score. Marco Polo looking for a victory in game two after an unfortunate scenario in game one where they really had control for the first 3 or 4 minutes, but then again, Clovarity just scripted away from them.
Definitely, and just a reminder for all of the viewers today, whoever wins this series has to go up against that Draco team. And that is not an easy feat, so this series is an opportunity to stake your claim and be the next challengers. And both of these teams have a lot of things that, they can just pull out and really make it work, but Clovarity gonna look for a go-ahead goal. Marco Polo, I think they need to get a go-ahead again to try to get their confidence back.
Right, with 3:40 on the clock, not only is it a chance to really prove yourselves here in a series like this, there's Grand Circuit winner split, major applications on the line here. There's one spot available to the winner with 3.5 to go, and Clovarity and Marco Polo dead even here in game two.
Definitely, the series has more than just this in mind. Great pass from Swaz. A good block here as Hexy looks to move downfield, and Clovarity looking a bit awkward on defense now, starting to hesitate on some of the maybe a little bit awkward clears, but not too bad. And that's what Marco Polo want out of Clovarity.
Right, 3 minutes now on the clock, and again, sir, we've seen a lot of series throughout the time of BLCS together, and we've seen a lot of elite finishes to series and a lot of, moments, but with 3 on the clock, and again, Marco Polo, really, I feel like they're the favorites to win this series, but Clovarity doing an outstanding job here in the first half of this best of 7, and they're really making Marco Polo pay for every single mistake they've made, and now we hit halftime, and we're still at an equal score.
Definitely, Clovarity are making Marco Polo work for their food, and it's been looking very good so far, but now I think Clovarity needs to do a bit more than just counter. I mean, it's been working, yes, but they're not really challenging Marco Polo enough, because Marco Polo is still in both of these games, and Clovarity still feel like they're on the back foot despite, winning the first game and looking better in the second. They've just not been able to break the blue half too often.
Right, but Clovarity, you gotta love, they're getting physical, they're going for demos, they're going for bumps, and they're finding connections on these bumps and demo plays, and with 2 minutes on the clock, still tied, Marco Polo, I feel like at this point, it's inevitable that they're gonna score at least one more here in Game 2, with how much pressure they built on the orange end.
Definitely, this series is a scrappy one for sure. Opportunities have been at a premium, and you definitely want to take it if you get it. As Marco Polo, yes, they've had a lot of pressure, but they also have not had a lot of dangerous shots. Not one by Aspect, the outlier of this game. So definitely going to be interesting to see what breaks the deadlock.
Right, none of these opportunities so far tonight have been by a discount. With a minute 15 to go, a chance for Bronzy, and the shot just gonna roll right off the crossbar, but a huge look there.
Definitely a good opportunity, but that crossbar being the friend of the defensive end again. And 1 minute remains here. Both teams tied at 1. And anything could be the go-ahead. Any little mistake, any spark of brilliance, anything can happen here in this Grand Circuit.
45 seconds to go, still a deadlock even game, overtime. Beginning to loom on the horizon here a little bit, serve, and we might see O2 for the first time tonight here in Game 2.
Definitely looking more and more likely as time ticks down, but Bronzy is moving forward with plenty of boost. Goes back around looking for the goal. A good pop, but more to be done. Good 50 on Hexy by Swaz. Sparta back to Swaz. Into the corner. Bronzy misses. That shot's going to be open for Sparta. That's the go-ahead goal. And Clovarity find the late go-ahead again.
Marco Polo stunned in the final seconds here of Game 2. Hexy couldn't bail it out. 15 seconds left, and Clovarity back on top here in the final seconds of regulation.
Definitely, Clovarity have looked ever so slightly the better team, but it's hard to say that despite what the series score is looking like it could be, that this series has been Clovarity's. I mean, this has been so close, but Clovarity have just had the goals when they needed to.
Right, now Clovarity, again like Draco, up 2-0 here. We'll see how Marco Polo respond, as both these games have been relatively close, but in the final moments there, Clovarity again walks away victorious, but now Marco Polo have got to find an answer back moving forward to Game 3.
Definitely a must-win game for Marco Polo, and they can do it. I mean, they've got every right to think that they can come back into this one, but it's been hard. Clovarity's defense has just been that good. So we'll see what breaks first under the pressure. Will it be the offense or the defense?
Well, Marco Polo's got to, build pressure on the offensive end and make Clovarity's defense break away. And already off the rip here, Clovarity on the offensive end, and Bronzy finally gets bailed out by Hexy there. 10 seconds gone, and Marco Polo got the tone first here in Game 3.
Definitely. There has to be just a parade of shots, and Bronzy will put that one in from the tight angle. Just, of course, as I'm about to rip on Marco Polo's offense, they go and make a brilliant play, as Bronzy, I believe, has participated in all but one goal so far this series.
I believe so as well. He missed an assist in game 2, but 4:41 to go, and Marco Polo a better start here in game 3, but still down 0-2 in a series, so they got to battle back with a transition attempt there, and it's a long, clear. Aspect finds a big shot there. It's 2-0.
Remind me not to criticize teams on cast because, oh my goodness. That is a great goal from Aspect. Just sees what's coming, and that breakout doing wonders, and just launches that thing across the field.
4:32 to go. It's Clovarity down 0-2. Now Marco Polo building the pressure here early in game number 3, but really starting that tone now. And again, 30 seconds is not that much time gone off the clock here, Clovarity. No need to panic just yet for a Clovarity fan in chat, but not maybe a little bit concerned to the opening start here of game 3.
Definitely. I think this is the first time we've seen Clovarity in a position where they are not really in any control of this game, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond, because that defense has been what has held them together, and it cracked twice in less than a minute.
Off the backward attempt here for Swaz. Hexy turns it wide. Kaimo, a big miss there, and Swaz a miss again, and Hexy putting Marco Polo back on the orange end here, starting the attack back downfield, but with 3 minutes and a half now gone, Marco Polo looking to build pressure yet again on offense.
Definitely Marco Polo not need to, but I think it'd be good if they got another goal here, really start to establish their offensive approach, whereas Clovarity, they need to sink one in pretty soon here to get that confidence back and to start building their way back into this game. Good start from Kaimo, gets it around all 3 players. What a solo effort that leads to a Swaz goal.
As Clovarity gets on the board here, 3:13 to go. Marco Polo concede their first goal in game 3 with 1:47 off the clock.
That was an impeccable play, as right now it is Clovarity, almost said Draco, it's Clovarity that are fighting their way back into that series. That goal almost went sailing in, but a good defensive effort as Bronzy is forced to go high and waste a lot of boost.
Marco Polo facing some light pressure here from Clovarity. What we've seen the second half performances out of Clovarity in this series, and they're an entirely different team. I feel like in the second half, and Marco Polo starting to feel the effects of that as Sparta from center field has to pass across. Swaz finishes it off. We're back to a tied score.
What a play by Sparta! Uses his flip just at the last second off the wall. Swaz puts in a dagger of a shot, but once again, it's been the 1-2 passing plays from Clovarity that have gotten them back into this game. What a play!
As game 3 setting up to be one for the record books here in Clovarity. A big second half surge to success so far, but Marco Polo again have got to find their footing here in the second half, as Clovarity now has all the momentum back in their favor.
They've got to be questioning what on earth they've got to do to keep Clovarity down, because every time that it seems like Marco Polo are in control, Clovarity have a say about it. The crossbar had a say about those shots, and its verdict was, that's not in.
2:02 to go here. Pass inside from Swaz. And Marco Polo back on defense again as Clovarity building pressure on the blue end here. Attempt for Kaimo. It's taken wide by Bronzy, and Marco Polo have got to find their way out of the blue half.
Definitely. As I say, Clovarity got a lot of pressure this game, even more than they had the first 2 games where they relied a lot on defense and playing deep. Now it's been the pressure, but Bronzy has an opportunity, leaves Clovarity awkward, and Marco Polo have one more good chance coming. Aspect looks for the shot, but just can't quite find it as Sparta. Off the wall, good touch, popped over one, Bronzy. Plenty of work left to do, but this is a good start. Clovarity surging down the field, and we know that they seemingly always find a goal around this mark, so let's see if they can do it again.
1:08 to go, the final 60 seconds of regulation. Clovarity trying to get the job done in 3. Marco Polo trying to extend this series to a game 5, but 1 minute left, and Clovarity doing an outstanding job so far tonight.
Definitely have been the better team in most of this series. And Marco Polo, again, I've got to start questioning what it is that's making Clovarity so resilient and just so good on that offense. As Marco Polo, again, have not looked bad. I mean, the game scoreline does not say anything about how good they've been, but a defensive mistake there leads to another late go-ahead goal, Nation. It almost seems like clockwork at this point.
And Marco Polo let up late again here in game number 3. And now it's a 3-2 lead for Clovarity. Can they hang on for the final 30 seconds of regulation where match point awaits?
Definitely an important last game here, 30 seconds remain, and I would say if Marco Polo lose this one, it's not impossible for them to reverse sweep, but again, winning 4 in a row is very difficult no matter who the opponents are. 10 seconds remain. Aspect trying to carry it to the wall, but not enough boost to continue the move, as that one looks to be the finisher. Might be one more opportunity here for Marco Polo. They're moving down the field. Aspect off the backboard. Swaz is up, puts it down, and Clovarity are on match point.
Match point, we go to game 4. Marco Polo now serve, looking for a reverse sweep here in game 4, moving forward.
Definitely looking possible, as both of these teams have a lot of quality, but Clovarity have looked just fantastic. I mean, as a team, they look like a cohesive unit, and it's been winning them these games. So I'll be very curious to see what Marco Polo can pull out of the hat. Bronzy has a lot of solo plays in the series so far. Aspect seems to be where he needs to be, and Hexy, we all know that he can pull something out of the backpack to really change up the series. So I'm going to need to see some of that from Marco Polo. But Clovarity have just looked too good. When we think their defense is going to fail, they just go on offense and absolutely dominate you. So, they've had an answer to every question so far. So we'll see if they have an answer to the final one, which is winning the series and moving on to day 3.
Day 3 awaiting the winner here with a major spot in the line as well, but now Marco Polo serve. What is really going wrong? So they got to find 4 games in a row now.
I think that, they're letting Clovarity play at their pace. Clovarity has looked so comfortable all game long. I think that right now I need to see Marco Polo go for a couple more solo plays. You really can slow down the game a bit more. Take that possession. Go for a 50 or 2 if you need to. Because when you play fast, Clovarity's going to meet every challenge that they want to, and they're going to look good while doing it.
Right, and with 40-second off the clock now, and Marco Polo, we know how lethal this team can be. I mean, Hexy, Aspect, and Bronze, all super solid players, but Clovarity is playing the better series right now. It just looks like at the end of the day, Clovarity is much better, but an own goal goes in. Hexy will get credit. It's a 1-0 start again for Marco Polo.
There it is. That might be just the Hail Mary they needed. As that goal, I think, was going to bounce out of the post, but you know what? No reason to speculate there. It's a goal from Marco Polo, and Clovarity have got to respond again. That one goes center. Kaimo decides to try to fake challenge, but instead invites a lot more pressure than he was willing to bargain for.
3:55 on the clock now, the first minute gone. Clovarity again, not on the board in the early half, but here comes a chance in the midfield for Hexy off the backboard. It's taken away, and Aspect bells it out. 1:15 off the clock, and Clovarity building pressure in both corners.
Hexy looking for a center, has another touch. Not a lot of boost to work with, but did able to shake the Clovarity defense. Kaimo takes good control, is patient with it. Aspect, Swaz has the ball, tries to get it forward, but a good demo, and that's when I need to see more of Marco Polo. Clovarity taking a lot of time on their goal line to control the ball and set up the next play, and Marco Polo have not been pressing them enough on that end. I think they need to do that a little bit more.
Final 3 minutes here. Hexy and Bronze, a double commit for Marco Polo, but they're not broken there. And with 2 minutes off the clock, Marco Polo, I feel like they got to get a 2-goal lead here to give them some chances on the other end. And again, a 2-0 lead's a pretty good margin. I feel like Clovarity just can cut back into any lead they really need to do. And we've seen it time and time again in this series where 2-0 leads haven't been able to stand for Marco Polo.
No, but, you know, that match point puts a lot of added pressure on the team that is on that match point, and right now Marco Polo are in a, you know, win or lose situation, but, you know, you definitely don't want to start dropping games in a best of 7, even if it's just 1, even if it's just 2. That little hinge of doubt starts to creep in your mind, and that's definitely something you want to try and avoid. Kaimo on the wall is going to be looking for a center. Aspect on it before it can even go across the goal mouth. And 2 minutes remain here. Marco Polo have looked in control of this game and have looked cool as a cucumber so far, but again, they have to close it out and they have to try to deny Clovarity more chances because you just sense more coming.
It's the final game of the series, the hardest game to close out, but Sparta looking for the goal. He connects, we're tied, 1:51 to play.
Another defensive miscue from the side of Marco Polo. Bronzy just too far out of the net, turned around, no chance that he's stopping that shot as Sparta puts it in beautifully. He's there when he needed to be. With less than 2 minutes ago, we have a tie game once again.
1:47 left, Kaimo for a corner and it's wide. There's now Marco Polo back downfield here on the offensive end now, and a big demo for Swaz will put Clovarity back on offense in the meantime as 90 seconds remain on the clock.
Exactly 90 seconds remain here. We are all tied at 1, and both of these teams have looked good all series long, despite what the scoreline may suggest, but it's just been Clovarity with that little bit of an edge. But Marco Polo have looked better this game. They've looked in control of this game, and they're going to need it here. As Clovarity, honestly, Nation, have looked a little nervy.
Right, 60 seconds left now, and Sparta a chance on the inside, taken away, and Hexy on the transition, pass down to Aspect, corner, looking for a double, will connect, it's on target, will it sail through? No, and Hexy can't finish it.
Almost. Swaz, upfield for Sparta. Only Kaimo is back now as Aspect doesn't have the boost he wanted to make the play he wanted. That ball's going down. Good touch from Swaz. He needs one more to really be comfortable, and he gets it. 30 seconds remain, and Clovarity, the second half team that has always found a goal late, they're going to really need one here if they want to put this series to bed in 4, as this looks like Marco Polo might have a chance, but it looks like, again, Clovarity are going to have that counter as Kaimo off the backboard. Swaz has a touch, and that might have just saved Clovarity from doom.
Big bump there, Swaz shot, Aspect will turn it away, 10 seconds to go. Clovarity looking for a last second stunner. As 5 seconds left, the chance, it's open. Is anyone back? Bronzy gets back in time. Swaz for the win, Hexy will turn it wide. We're gonna go to overtime here in game 4.
Our first overtime, and boy is this a nervy one. You can cut the tension on this field with a knife as Utopia Coliseum is lighting up. Swaz trying to move downfield. Kaimo off the ceiling. Hexy's gonna put it down. Good save from Kaimo.
18 seconds already in overtime. A chance double for Bronzy, and Swaz will turn this one towards the left corner here, and Marco Polo building heavy pressure in overtime.
Aspect. The ball's up, around. Kaimo shot just off the backboard. Follow up. Oh! They collided into each other. Either one of them would have had the finisher, but that little lack of communication led to that shot going begging.
Almost a minute now into overtime so far. Marco Polo in the back end facing some pressure there. A shot to win as Hexy keeps Marco Polo in this series so far, and Clovarity can't put him away just yet.
I know I'm supposed to commentate over these, but man, I can't watch. This is so nervy, and it feels like any little mistake is about to happen from either of these teams. That ball's going center, almost, but Bronzy gets a life-saving touch as Hexy now into the orange half, finally relieving some pressure. Sparta playing with fire here across the goal line. Bronzy kicks it back to Hexy, but Sparta's still there. Low boost, but has the ball. Kaimo up, shot, wins the series! What a goal from Kaimo!
And Kaimo puts Marco Polo away as they punch their ticket to Day 3 Championship Sunday away to Draco, their next match.
Definitely, if I was the two series I was casting today, I would have swapped the score lines in my predictions, but Clovarity have looked fantastic, and that defense may be what they need to stand the challenge to Draco, but it's been a great series. I don't think the scoreline accurately reflects how close this series was.
Agreed. When we come back, it'll be HCK taking on EV Horizon next, so don't go anywhere, but thank you guys for joining us so far. We'll be back after intermission.
All right, GG's.